Hi, welcome back to my video tutorial. In the previous tutorial, I've showed you how to use type tool to insert a type in your composition, and then also show you how to rotate and duplicate an object so that you can create something like this composition. And then I also show how to mask in my previous tutorial, so you can refer to my second video tutorial about what I've told you just now. Alright, so in the next tutorial, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to manipulate the position of your letter within a word using only character panel. Alright, some maybe you've seen some video tutorial that show you how to do that using different technique. Okay, but probably this technique would be easier for you to do it, and then you can apply it in your exercise. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something like this. Alright, like the jump or happy words, right? Jumping and rotating, moving up or downwards and rotate the letter within the text box. So I'm going to type here in the composition. The next box is I'm going to type that jump. Alright, okay, so I'm going to use all lowercase, but if you're not going to use lowercase for this second words, but then you already type it using lowercase, but you don't then you don't have to delete the words. What you can do is you can just go to type and then choose change case and then select uppercase so that you retype the word. You don't have to retype the word if you feel that you want to use all case in the letter and in the words, in the second words. I'm gonna use lowercase instead. Alright, for this next tutorial. So next is the next thing that you can do is you need to position the word in your composition. Alright, now you need to open your character panel. Alright, if you can't see your character panel, alright, in my latest version of Adobe Illustrator, you will see the property panels on the right of your workstation. Alright, but if you can't see or you accidentally close the properties panel, what you can do is to reopen your character panel. What you should do is you go to window, choose type, and then select character, or the shortcut key is Command T or Control T. Alright, so now you can see there's a character panel. Normally by default, when the first time that you open your character panel, you will only see this. Alright, only this option. So to change the position, to rotate the letter in the text box, you need to have more options. So to see other options in your character panel, you need to select or go to the menu here, go to this hamburger menu, select that and choose show options, and you'll see other option or more options in the character panel. Alright, to rotate or to move the letter in the text box, what you can do is you need to select individual letter. Okay, if you don't select individual letter, if you do this, all the letters in the word will have the same setting. Alright, so we don't want to do that. We're gonna apply it on an individual letter, which is I'm gonna do it in U first. So I'm gonna select, okay, double click, make sure you double click. Alright, double click on the text box and then select the letter U, and then in the character panel you need to change the baseline shift to about 30 point. Alright, later Mr. Vinod will explain to you in his lecture about what is baseline, what is mean line, and what is X height and whatnot. Alright, so in here I'm gonna show you how to do it in Illustrator. Alright, so this is how you move or you change the baseline using character panel. Alright, next is what you can do is you can rotate to have more expression in your letter, what you can do is you can also rotate the character. It says here character rotation. You can set the value of the angle. Alright, I'm gonna use 20 degrees here. Alright, and then I'm gonna select the second letter, alright, which is M. Probably I'm gonna move it down a bit. I'm gonna use about 10 point, or maybe not, maybe 20 point. Okay, and then I'm gonna rotate that to 20 degrees, and then that's it. Okay, so once you have done that, make sure that you press escape or you select the selection tool. Okay, I'm gonna remind you over and over again, make sure that you practice this. Alright, but then again, if you do that, what happen is you will take up more space in between each letter. Alright, so you need to adjust the letter spacing, or you need to do some kerning or tracking. Okay, previously in the class, Mr. Vino have showed you how to do that. Alright, using this setting, which is tracking. Alright, you can add more space or reduce the space. Alright, if you think that the value is not enough, what you can do is you do it manually. Right, before you do it manually, make sure that you change the value of the kerning. Alright, to change the value of the kerning, so by default the value is very high. Alright, what I meant is, I'm going to show you here. So in Adobe Illustrator, when you use Mac, you can change all the settings from preferences. So in Mac, to open your preferences, you have to go to Illustrator menu and select preferences. But in Windows, when you use your Adobe Illustrator from Windows, you can open the preferences from edit, and you will see the menu somewhere, I don't know, here. Alright, okay, let's go back to preferences, select preferences, choose type, and then this is what I meant about the value of the tracking. Alright, at the moment by default, probably I think it's about 200 per 1000 M. M is another measurement unit that you can use. Alright, but for now, for this particular, I mean, like, for you to do a very good tracking, right, the value should be 5. Okay, right, you need to change that. Then you click OK. So the reason why I change that is because I'm going to manually change the tracking, or the value of the space in between the letter. That is what I'm going to do, because now it's a bit too far from each letter. There's too much space. Alright, I want to make it closer. I'm gonna turn the letter to make it closer. Alright, so I've showed you how to do it using character panel. You can also do it manually by pressing on your keyboard the button option or alt and the left and right arrow key. Alright, if you press, while pressing the button option, and then you press the left button, right, what will happen is you are reducing the space between each letter, but make sure that you do not collapse. Alright, sometimes you can do it on the whole letter, and sometimes in this case maybe you need to have more, you need to reduce more space. What you can do, you can select a letter, and then you can, do that as well. Okay, you can do it here, and do it on the letter U. Alright, okay, there you go. Okay, so that's how you adjust the spacing and also the baseline using character panel. Alright, so what you can do, you can edit the value of the baseline. Sometime when if it's too close, if it's difficult for you to select. Alright, this J. So at the moment the value is very close, negative 245. Maybe the value is not that correct, but what you can do, you can adjust it later, right, to have more space in between, right? But if you're really not sure, or you're not confirmed with the spacing and what, you can still reset back the value to 0, and it will go back to the normal setting. Alright, okay, let me just show you again. Once you've changed the baseline and you have changed the rotation of each character or letter, you can reduce the spacing within the letter by using this option here, which is tracking option. Alright, you can move the value. The higher the value, the bigger the space is, right? So the lesser the value become closer. You can also select like this, or you can just drag down, or you can even press shift and press your arrow key, down arrow key, to change the value. Or the shortcut key is you press option or alternate, you press left or right key. While pressing your option or alternate button or key, you can, and then you need to press the right and left key to create the space, to adjust the space. Alright, so I think that's all for today's tutorial. I hope I'll see you in the next class. If you have any question regarding this exercise and tutorial, you can just text us through FB message, and we will try to answer you or revert back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so I hope this video is very helpful for you to complete or to execute your first exercise, which is type expression. Alright, so, and yeah, one more thing before I go, you also can do differently using different technique, like by creating outline. Alright, okay, so the setting is following what I've done earlier. What you can do is you can change to 0 and then set everything to 0, and everything go back to normal. Alright, and then here what I'm going to do, I'm going to retype the word again, but this time I'm not gonna use character panel to create this composition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create outline on the text. So the reason why the reason why you need to create outline is because you're going to convert this type as object. Alright, what you can do, go to type, okay, select create outline, or the shortcut key is shift command O. So what happens if you create outline on a text? You can no longer edit the word. If there is a spelling error, you can't fix that, you can't edit the word. So while when you do it using character panel, you can still edit the word. You can add some other symbols and whatnot. Alright, so that is the difference between a normal letter text box and a text that converted to as outline. Right, but if you want to go using this technique, it's up to you. So you have more freedom on positioning each letter. Alright, so what you can do, once you've created this as outline, you can double click on the object. Okay, since this is no longer a text, so I'm going to consider this as an object. Double click on the object so that you will go inside the isolation mode. Alright, what isolation mode means is basically you are in the layer, inside the layer. Alright, so what happened is you cannot do anything on the rest of the object that is not related to the object, so that you can now, you know, rotate, move it downward like this, make it closer like this. Okay, so that you have more freedom to adjust the word or each letter, but it's totally up to you on which technique that you want to use. Alright, so if you want to go out from the isolation mode, that make sure that you double click outside the object. Okay, again, when I double click the object, you can see now here I'm within the compound path of the object. So now I'm basically in, I go deeper in the layer. Right, now I'm selecting the letter M only, so I cannot do anything on the other letter because now I really go deeper inside the layer. Right, so if you want to go outside, go back to the normal mode, you need to click the arrow or back one level, or you can double click so that you go outside from the isolation mode. Okay, so I hope this video is very helpful for you to execute or to complete your exercise. So I'll be seeing you in the next video. Alright, see you guys, bye bye.